Hello, it's Kadisha. I'm back with another video. This is a problem, and we need to look this problem right in the mirror and move forward. Do we want to look rich or be rich? And most of the time, they don't go hand in hand, or you can see where most of the time people that are rich or have a rich mentality, I guess I need to change that, do not always look like they are, versus the people who want to be rich or pretend to be rich, go out and do all this extravagant and extra stuff and put it on showcase. And I'm not saying this is wrong. However, I'm just saying if you are in the category where you are actually trying to barely get by, then looking rich is not the answer. And I think we, especially now in, I feel like the social media age where you can see everybody's life and you can compare what someone has versus what you don't have, it's so easy to go out and buy things that you cannot afford. I remember, oh my goodness, and this is so funny. I remember when this person was telling me how they went into the store and this person was, the people were not giving them the attention that they would have liked. And so they were like, well, I'm going to show them because they think I don't have any money. So I'm going to buy, this item. And so they bought the item and they had to, I was like, oh, okay, so what'd you do with the item? They was like, oh, I took it to like a pawn shop or something. It's just like, and that is what we majority of the time are doing. We are trying to impress other people, and on the inside are actually suffocating. This is not to make that person look bad or feel bad. It's just like we have to get to the root of why we want our riches to be on display. Because for one, you can get robbed these days. We're just gonna put that out there. You can really get robbed. So you'll need to be putting all your business out there and saying what you got, but also just showing off all this. Not to say you can't wear nice things or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But it's just like we have to be careful. We have to be careful and make sure that everything else is taken care of as far as what our future holds. If we have children, our children college funds, like we need to make sure we have a future and stop living so much in the moment. And I don't want to be contradictory, because of course we need to live in the present. I'm not saying that to always look to the future, always look to the future, but it's just like we need to be storing up, first of all, now I'm going off, but I'm not. We need to be storing our treasures in heaven, where the Bible says it does not, moth cannot get to them and dust cannot get to them. Like they do not, basically, they can't be corrupted there. And so it's okay to have fine things and nice things, but it's just like to make sure you're not putting yourself in a place where you basically are going to need handouts from other people. And this is something that I really wanted to talk about because I see it so much, and I'm just like, man, this is sad that we want to look a certain way to people who probably don't care or probably not even paying attention, that you have this. And it's just like, so what's the purpose of me doing this? To gain following, to make people want to envy my lifestyle, to make other people want to be like me? Like, what is the purpose of me showing off all these things, but really I don't know where my next pay is going to come from? And so we have to really think about this, because I know another situation, and I don't feel like I've ever been that, and maybe that's why I'm talking about it, where I wanted to, I have bought a designer belt before. That thing was so expensive. And I ended up not punting, I actually gave it away. And I was like, now why would I do that? But I really felt like the Lord was telling me to give it away. So I did give it to the person I feel like the Lord was telling me to do. But when I wore it, like I always want to wear it and have it covered up, because I like to wear belts. And when I wore it, I would feel weird if it showed. And so I was like, I need to get something where it's like, if you know, you know. Because of course I want a quality belt if I like to wear a belt. Because I have this other belt I got from somewhere, and that thing, I wear that belt and that thing is raggedy. I need to get a new one. But anyway, This other example is where I know somebody who has a lot of designer things. They like the finer things. And I'm only talking about them because they are in the process of actually turning over and doing better. So we're talking about a good situation here. And they have these things, but they've lived in their house for the amount of time it takes to pay off the mortgage. Usually you do a 15 to 30-year mortgage, and it's still not paid off. So it's just like, but you have all these designer things, and not to say we cannot have those, but we have to get our priorities intact. And that's what it's all about, because you can have all those things. Oh, I'm like, what is that? Is a leaf. You can have all those things, but you have to make sure that, okay, where am I staying that is going to be paid off? If is my retirement in good shape? And speaking of that, I need to be doing that myself. And we need to think about all those things that are going to matter when we cannot work. And most of the time we're living, like, I see these people and I get so irritated. That, never mind, maybe for another video. Okay, so, but yes, I want us to grow always. And this is, like I always say, these videos are for me too, because it's easy to talk about somebody else's stuff, but when you're dealing with it personally, it's hard for it to actually come back to you and, like, in your face. You're like, oh, I'm doing the same thing that I was just telling people that they shouldn't do. So I have to be careful in this area as well, because I did get an increase. Like, we want to live out our increase, and it's nothing wrong with doing things, set money aside if you got an increase to be able to do the finer things. But it's just like, if I'm maintaining here at we'll say $30,000 a year, and I get an increase to $50,000 a year, then okay, that's $20,000 extra dollars a year that I could be putting somewhere. Like, I of course put a little bit out if I want to take a nice vacation, but it's just like, unless I live in a terrible neighborhood, move first and foremost. But it's just like, I would stay where I am, save that $20,000. You'd be surprised and pay off things that you need to pay off, whether that's credit or whether that's student loans, whatever it may be. It's like, pay off the things that you need to, so we can be living in a debt-free situation. But most of the time when we get that increase, we're like, oh, I'm living out this increase, so I'm making sure every penny goes, like, to my whatever I want to do, and not necessarily to saving or to investing or to my retirement. And we have to be careful in that, because we often fall into a place where we're actually poor. And that is a poor mentality to have, if you just spend everything and don't save for a rainy day. So I hope, and of course we can't just, and I know some people who would just like save it all, won't do anything. Yeah, it's kind of like trying to find that balance, because of course you want to live. Don't just not live, but it's just like, be smart with your living, so you could be a millionaire. All right, y'all. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it encouraged you to make smart moves and be able to not only look rich but be rich. So like I always say, saca o que queres ver en otros. Until next time, bye.